Dirtfish Rally, friends. It is the end of CER, and once again, Super Sunday has delivered. Tell you what, just take a look at this.
Well, another good example that gravel crew are doing an important job for us. Only stage of the weekend where unfortunately the timing was not allowed them to pass in the stage, and so we couldn't have the information of the road evolution condition, and basically there was this long corner under the trees which got very muddy, and I didn't expect that as there was some anti-cut devices, and the line was not supposed to be in, but looks like many car in front went in and put more and more mud on the inside of the corner, and then I basically then understeer and then went wide at the exit of the corner and hit the tree at the outside.
Look, what can we say? 3 rallies in a row, 3 big mistakes from Sebastian Ogier. He's made more mistakes this year than we've seen practically in the last 10 years. It has been a very strange run for Sebastian Ogier, and my goodness me, he felt that one.
He did, but you're right, it's bizarre to see A, so many in a season, but B, so many consecutively in a season. It's not like Ogier, but you're right. We saw, if anyone hasn't seen the clip actually, when he gets out of the car, he's so angry at himself. We spoke to him earlier as well, as you've seen, and he just was so down. He took it really, really personally, and he said to us last night about how much he's enjoying this challenge of doing something for the team, winning for somebody else other than himself, and it was really sad. Nobody wants to see that when a driver's just so down. It was strange.
He felt it. He felt it really, really hard. And you know, he is now very much a team player, Sebastian Ogier. That selfish streak that was needed, that's absolutely a major component of what makes a champion. You know, that's gone. He drives for the team. He was performing for the team this weekend, and he has let the team down, and he knows that. He will bounce back, though. I would not be betting against an Ogier win in Japan.
No, nor would I.
Well, do you know what? It wasn't a total disaster for Toyota. It could have been a lot better, that is for sure, but they have reduced the gap by 2 points between themselves and Hyundai. The driver's title, though, well, it's all over from a Toyota's perspective. We now know it will be a Hyundai driver who wins this year's championship, Luke.
Which is huge, because obviously in Hyundai's, how long have they been back? 11 seasons?
2014.
Never happened before. Never has there been a driver's champion driving a Hyundai. So the huge news is, which one's it going to be?
Still very much in Thierry Neuville's court, but you'd have to say that Ott Tänak here has done all he could. Tänak is really, he's walking that fine line between what he has to do for the team, what he has to do for himself, and he's navigating it rather well just now. He's very much keeping his chances open, but you know, since Finland more or less, he's been relying on a mistake or some big issue for Thierry Neuville, and that's really, realistically, what he has to be looking for in Japan. But he doesn't want that to happen, because he wants Hyundai to win the championship. Goodness me, it's all just so intriguing.
Yes, there's a lot to think about from a Hyundai perspective. You're right, I think, with Tänak, and he's made that point quite a lot of times already throughout the season in the last few rallies, that he feels this is essentially up to Thierry, this championship. It's Thierry's to lose, and that's still, you look at the gap and it's almost, 26 points. It's going to require a massive dropping of the ball from Thierry or a mechanical or something like that for this to go Tänak's way, but you just never ever know. Tänak's job is to just basically win, get as many points as he can, help Hyundai in the Manufacturers' Championship and do himself a favour in the Drivers.
Definitely a positive outcome for myself and for the team as well. Altogether extremely intense rally, so demanding conditions, so much happening all the time, so much information coming in, going out, so full steam.
What do you think your chances are of claiming that second driver's title this year?
Obviously it's not up to me, the cap is the way, that it's only for Thierry to decide, and only thing I can do is to score as many points as possible in Japan, and for sure for the manufacturers we need to fight very hard, but the Drivers' Championship, yes, it's theoretically open, but not up to me.
Who was second here? I see Elvin Evans. 7 seconds, the difference between him and Tänak. you look at that and go, whoa, I never realised he was so close, because he had just another one of those weekends where it never quite sparked.
Yeah, it's bizarre. I think when we found out he was only 7 seconds off, I thought, really? But he never felt like he was quite in that fight to win. But he scored the most points here as well. 24 points for Elvin the weekend, more than any other driver. So in all rationale, you cannot consider this a bad weekend, but in terms of that speed at the front, Neuville, Ogier and Tänak just had a little bit extra on
He never looked as if he could match their pace. Even though he won, I think, 2, maybe 3 stages, he just never looked as if he could sustain that pace to put in potentially a challenge for the win. But from a manufacturer's point of view, he has done the job for Toyota.
It's obviously been a reasonably consistent weekend. Finished reasonably well on Saturday and an okay day today. Shame really about the first run of the power stage. That was the most damaging in terms of overall Sunday, and even the second run of the power stage wasn't too fantastic. But overall it's been a good haul of points, so can't be too displeased.
So it was getting just a little bit too noisy for some delicate ears by the podium there. So we've moved to the banks. We've moved to the banks of where, Luke?
It's the River Danube. I may have this weekend called it the Danube. Not been my weekend for saying words properly, has it? But
it's not. But let's move on. We've talked about our top 2 here at the Central European Rally. Thierry Neuville, really strong weekend from him. Look, he did exactly what he had to do this weekend.
Yeah, I think a lot of us probably did maybe naively assume that it was kind of going to be done this weekend, but after what happened yesterday with the spin and then going off after having the pace wrong on a corner, he was never realistically going to wrap up the championship today. So after that, he's just been clever, sensible, got the points he needed, still has a massive advantage going to Japan, so he is still overwhelmingly the favourite for this championship.
After yesterday's disappointment, we knew that would clearly impossible to take the title here this weekend. Nevertheless, a good outcome for us. We target some points, extra points here this weekend, and try to do a good power stage despite not the perfect tyre choice. Nevertheless, we were the fastest on those who were on soft, and were able to take some points back on Ott as well, which is a good result at the end for us.
The man who sits in 4th place at the end of the rally was probably the driver of the rally. The driver who came into this event, I think, with the most pressure on him, having been benched for the rally in Chile. Takamoto Katsuta performed probably better here than we've seen him anywhere in the past. There was intelligence, there was patience, there was craft, there was pace, and you know what? 12 points on the Sunday, did the job for the team, maybe his best drive.
Yeah, I'd go one further, and I think it probably actually is his best drive. He's had some brilliant performances in the past, but I can't remember one that's felt quite so important. It is impossible to underestimate the pressure that he was under coming into this weekend. He's made hints at it, but he's never going to tell us the full story. That was huge for Taka to miss Chile, but he's come back and he's done 2 things. He's avoided mistakes, which is what the team wanted, and he's shown unbelievable speed today to get all 12 points, and he's done the job for the manufacturers.
That's it. I was going to say he's done 3 things, because he has absolutely contributed to keeping Toyota in this title battle.
Yeah, I have to say, I don't know what I expected personally from Katsuta, but it wasn't this. Seriously impressive stuff this weekend.
Very good Sunday. I was chatting also my boss, Tom Fowler, that this morning he said to me that you can push now. I said to him that, yes, I was waiting this for the whole weekend. And, but of course, like we had to follow our strategy and the plan, so this is why I was able to push today. Otherwise, could happen the mistake yesterday or 2 days ago, and different story. So huge thanks to the whole team and how they supported and how they give me this car.
Well, let's talk about 1 or 2 of our other Rally 1 drivers who have featured here this weekend. Adrien Fourmeau, look, difficult weekend for him. It's been a tale of 2 rallies really for Adrien Fourmeau, one that was difficult and today that was encouraging. But as seems to have been the case for the last 2 months, all the talk around Fourmeau is about this potential move to Hyundai.
Yeah, it's the story that's not going away, isn't it? No one's really saying much. I think we all have our suspicions about what's happening, but yeah, I'm sure there'll be some news on all of that in due course. Well, there'll have to be. 2024 is not that many weeks left.
I have to say as well, Cyril isn't denying it.
No.
There's no absolute flat-out denial, and nor is Adrien denying it.
Yeah, Adrian's been very clever with everything he answers. Whenever you ask the question, he gets a bit cheeky in response. So it's good fun. It's good fun for us to get to. But yep, of course, whenever that news breaks, dirtfish.com is the place to be to read about it.
And for most teammates, Gregoire Munster, good result for him. really good result for him, matching his best ever finish in a WRC event. Maybe not the pace though that we wanted to see from him, but he was clean and tidy.
Yeah, I think after Chile we saw when he's going back to a rally he'd done before in a Rally 1 car, he'd maybe set the bar a bit higher for what we could have expected here. Didn't quite happen, but a lot of the stages were new. But as you say, no real mistakes, nothing to talk about. He was quite anonymous, but on a rally as difficult as this, that's not always a bad thing.
The only Hyundai driver we've not talked about yet is Andreas Mikkelsen. Again, a driver who, he had a difficult weekend. He made mistakes, but then redeemed himself, would you say, in the power stage by contributing to the points haul for Hyundai? Was that enough to redeem himself?
It's a big question. I think it certainly lessens the blow of this weekend. It's a silver lining. The puncture this morning on the first stage kind of typified what the weekend's been about for Andreas. Then there's a strange issue with the hybrid light flickering off and then coming back on. When it's off, we were not allowed by regulation to continue. So there was a period where they may have had to retire on the spot, but thankfully for him and for Hyundai, that wasn't the case. He was able to get some power stage points and, as you say, help Hyundai limit the damage to Toyota in that manufacturer's race.
Let's go back to Toyota, because the only Rally 1 driver we haven't talked about, poor old Sammy Paj.
Yeah.
Sammy Pajari, our friend, doing a great job. First time on tarmac in the Rally 1 car. Decent times, really decent times through the first 2.5 days. All went wrong this morning, a little too quickly though, didn't it?
Clearly it was a mistake, a fairly small mistake, and I think we all agree it was unlucky how big a price he had to pay for said mistake. But what was interesting actually is there was what looked like there was a fair bit of damage to the car. He suggested technically he could have kept going, but there wasn't any point. He wasn't here scoring points for the team. He's not in a Drivers' Championship battle. But if you want to see all of that and what Sammy said, quick up here. We were out running through the forest trying to find him. We managed.
We did.
Colin without his socks. The camera probably can't pick it up, but wasn't ideal.
A bad day not to be. As you all know, I love my boots, and I'm normally wearing boots. This weekend, I don't know why I've come out with the silly trainers and no socks, but I knew all about it running through those brambles, I'll tell you. Well, WRC2 was also a lot of fun this weekend. What did you make of the competition there, Luke?
I think the big takeaway is the demise of Johan Russell's championship challenge. After everything in Chile stood, I think we all, again, like Neuville, probably expected Russell to win here. The speed he's had on tarmac and the car has had on tarmac, it almost felt like a formality. But yeah, we saw what happened to him on Thursday night. That kind of set the tone for his weekend.
Nikolai Gryazan was our winner in WRC2. Oliver Solberg in that class was second. It was nice to see, though, our friend who I stole the chocolates and the water from, Miko Marchek taking his first ever podium. What did he tell us? He's done 8 rallies in the ERC this year, no podiums. Comes to the WRC, his first ever podium. It was a great story, wasn't it?
A shout out as well to Philippe Mares, who was second. I believe it was also his first WRC2 podium, and 2 weeks after the birth of his second child. So really special. And the Mares family, Philippe's coming back home to you. You'll be glad about that.
Really important initiative here this weekend, Luke, that we've been following with a huge amount of interest. It is our Beyond Rally initiative, the Beyond Rally programme. There was a little bit of a twist at the end, wasn't there? There was a twist at the end. Do you want to explain what happened? Yeah,
so we'd all been told, or we're led to believe, that there was going to be one winner for this weekend that would get a full season in the 2025 Junior World Rally Championship, but we've got two. Two of them are going off to Sweden. Claire Sjöborn and Licia Baudet will both compete in Sweden. I believe at that point one of them will then complete the rest of the season. But it was great to see, because I think trying to choose a winner from one rally is tough, isn't it? It's really one tough. Specific set of conditions. Various factors always come into it, but it was really nice to see how much it meant to them both. It's a massive opportunity they've got, and they've made the most of it.
Folks, that was it. That was the CER. That was the final European round of the 2024 WRC. We do have one more round to come in Japan. Let us know your thoughts on Japan in the comments below. It is still very much possible that it is in Toyota's hands. Toyota can do everything they can and they can win it. It is very much in favour, mind you, of Hyundai. But who do you think will take the manufacturer's title? And is Thierry Neuville a nailed-on certainty for the driver's title? Stay with us, dirtfish.com, for all the news. There is an awful lot bubbling under, let me tell you that. Dirtfish Rally School, folks, that is the place to go to hone your skills as a rally driver. Thanks for joining us, folks, here at the CER.